So I found what works, so to speak, is what I identify as the Jesus story essence, which is He's come to tell us God is our dad, loves us. And if we keep this constantly to the fore in our mind, we find much peace and joy and fullness of life. In other words, I'm trying to put this on the menu for you. And I am pointing out the way in which I think it might be valued by you. And then at the end of the day, it's not, therefore I prove to you this is true, objective truth, but only that it's a possible way. And have you tried it? Or does it still seem to you to be unreasonable, unfeasible, not your experience, not objectively true, and not really attractively true either? And you're not going to go down that road. Is my response then, oh, I must prove it to you? That in some sense I reveal by logic that whether you like it or not, this is the way and there is no other. In other words, dogmatically, it's this or nothing. You can't have another view. Well, I'm not likely to do that successfully, am I? I mean, unless I have some glittering charisma that overrides your logic of adhering, sticking to what you have found best so far and see as right and the happiest way to go. You know, I might claim to you, for instance, I say dogmatically, this medicine always works because of so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so, and you must have it in the case of such and such an illness, or you will continue to be in pain and die of the illness you have. And you know, I keep bearing down on you as some authority on this, that I'm the professional, I know I've spent my life studying this particular thing, and I'm far more likely to be right than you are. So, I mean, if you've got any good sense, you'll do what I say, and if you haven't, well, you know, you're almost condemned. You must expect to suffer, and, you know, I did tell you what was right. I told you what was the case, and you didn't accept it. That's, in a sense, how the professional works. Is that, you know, in some sense, he creates a situation in which you think I know, and therefore you have to follow what I say. And of course, none of us know. We've spent much time in an area, but we don't know. There is always uncertainty. All we can say is that we have had an experience as the following. And our experience is such that we're led to believe that this will help. We give an explanation of why it might be the case helping. But what matters is, did it help? And was that the cause? And I don't know. All I can say is, if you take this view, it seems to work. And you listening may think, well, I can't take that view because it's contrary to my desire and experience. That doesn't seem attractive to me at all. I appreciate it's attractive to you in that that's what you're saying is the way to go. But you're saying that is not in itself my experience. In fact, it's a bit new to me, and if I think about it, what I have is better already from my experience. So I nod politely and accept that this is your view, and wonder if that's why you're not achieving, by the looks of it, what I still value. Then we go on our way. There's no meeting of minds, you see. I'm not blessed by the experience, and you're frustrated that I'm not ending up with the same view as yourself. This doesn't seem to be the best way to go for what we value. Why do we keep doing this? I think it may come down to us because we're being economic. For instance, with religions, there's many options out there, even many options and views as regards the same, broadly speaking, stated religion, like, say, Christianity. And we're hearing one of the views, and we've heard it before, but it's one of many. What I need is what works, and yet what I seem to be looking for is what is true. If we're trying to understand why this chap thinks this view of his is the best, well, we may understand his point of view, but still not, of course, accept it. We may come to a situation where we understand why he thinks the way he does, but it's not for us. It's not that there is some objective truth that he has found, any more than I want to convince myself I have. Only that it's another view. And then the question is this view what you value? No, my view is different. Right. End of story. Is your view bringing happiness and joy? No, it's not at the minute. Is there a view out there that will bring you the happiness and joy that you want? Well, I don't know. Is there something in what this person has that seems to be more attractive than what you have? Although the means to it seems a bit bizarre. Well, yes. And I don't really feel that he does have something that's more attractive than what I have. It looks to me to be very problematic. But he doesn't see it that way because of his experience or upbringing, his view to date and so on. So I try to come in my discourse with others, I try to come upon a way that I think will bless them, but I'm rather emphasizing what I'm doing and the consequence that I seem to get from it. And therefore why I'm commending it to them. And then I must listen and hear how their experience leads them to doubt what I'm suggesting. And try to understand why their experience would lead them to doubt. In other words, I say to them, why do you think that? What experience have you had in your life that makes you think this statement that you're saying is true and brings the greatest happiness and joy? And then you find, well, superficially, for instance, they may have different goals. Well, we all want a good job, don't we? Or we all want fame and fortune, or we all want, a bigger and better house. Or we all want happiness as defined in the following way. And then, of course, you say, oh, no, that's not what I'm valuing. I'm valuing ... Oh, well, so am I. Well, I'm not sure. Is that the case? You seem to be preoccupied from your way of life. I see that you value so-and-so. For instance, you've worked very hard to be, I don't know, a good motorcyclist. Because motorcycling has brought you great joy, peace and happiness. And you may feel as an onlooker that it's brought you that joy and happiness at great risk. And that many of your colleagues have actually died on the track. And that this is not really what you value. It's certainly not what the onlooker values. He thinks the last thing I want is to end up injured for life from some accident in order to win the prize and the glory and the joy. I don't value that like you do. We seem to be different. Therefore, what I'm recommending doesn't quite ring as attractive in your eyes, but rather in mine. Is it then that now I find a peace? I realize your goals are different to mine. I can see how, from my point of view, your life could be happier and better and fuller. But you don't find that attractive. In a sense, then, we're not good company for each other. If we're steamrolling each other in that you should be more like I am, that will be better for you, because that's not what you think. In fact, you think quite the reverse, that I should be more like you are. And quite reasonably, you see, from your point of view, your experience. So we can offer, but not impose. We impose, we have great discord. If we offer, well, it may not be taken up. There may be no interest in it. We don't want to hear that. It doesn't ring true. And they don't want it forced on them. So we're constantly looking, it seems, for harmony and peace, if that's what we value, to suggest only those things that, and in a way that they might see as a possible blessing, and in a sort of distressed and disgruntled way, may just think that, I wonder if that's worth trying. And they may have the hope to do so. So one seeks to inspire. One seeks to give them the hope that what you value is worth trying. And if you can relate in such a way as you succeed in doing this, you may be a source of great joy and happiness to them. And they have ears to hear. And in some sense, a successful story, like the Jesus story, needs to do that, to be of lasting value in a society and culture. And then, of course, there's the great test of time to see if this is the case. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.